Welcome back to 2024 Sparkleween. Of course, Sparkleween wouldn't be Sparkleween without any sparkles. So first I am applying a foundation of the lightest shade that I have and then mix it with white face paint. Gonna go that all over my face with a wet, kind of damp beauty sponge. All over the face and all over the neck. The face paint is NYX white face paint that usually comes around Halloween time, so I just mix it with one of my favorite foundations as it's a lot of shade so I could get it super pale. And then next I'm using a white powder to apply all over my face, first underneath my eyes after fixing it with the beauty blender again. You want to go over those creases before you actually apply the powder, that way it's seamless. So now I'm just getting a big brush. Once I do it under my eyes and around like the areas of the most crease areas, which is the nose, under the chin, and of course like around the eyes. And once we do that, we're gonna get our a bigger brush and get that powder and just go all over the face, all over the neck. Now this powder actually comes in, again, Halloween season. It's actually a Walmart brand Halloween base powder, which I was actually really impressed because it's actually super pigmented and actually was seamless, which was very surprising for it to be a Walmart brand, but like a just Halloween makeup, like very cheap. I think it was like $3. So I was actually really impressed by it. So yeah, I'm going all over the neck. So yeah, we're just gonna ignore it being all over my shirt, all over my hair, and also just ignore my roots because I do need to touch up my hair. So we're going to ignore all of that. I've really been trying to push myself doing Halloween looks more this year, so I'm gonna try my best this year. Okay, now I am using a small angled brush and using the 18 count matte essentials matte essentials from Morphe. Using a kind of light gray shade to contour pretty much my whole entire face with. So first I always contour my nose. I love having a button nose, so sometimes it's just the blessing to have a button nose when it comes to like looks, because it just, I don't know, it just gives my looks somewhat cutesy but somewhat just spooky in a way, because I could really manipulate my nose to like look creepy sometimes, but it's really cute having a button nose. So I'm going over how I normally do my contour, which is under my nose to kind of lift it up, and then around the sides, and then more intensify or just more bring my button nose depth back up. Then I'm using a bigger angled brush and I'm blending all of this in. Again, using that same shade, but also just not really having anything on there except for just blending it out just with nothing on it, which really makes it very seamless. I will say with this look, I had to like go off and on, stop recording and record again because I didn't have any kind of resource and my iPad was dead when it comes to doing this look, so I had to like kind of go off and on. So now we're doing the cheeks on the contours again, making it very sunken in, but I will go back over all of this with like an actual contour shade, like a bronzing shade, to kind of just blend it more out. Right now I'm just kind of placing it where I want it to go. So yeah, right now I'm kind of just placing it in the spots where I need to. And also we're just gonna ignore that thing on my face. We're just going to ignore that. It's just not there. We're just going to ignore it. But yeah, I recently dyed my hair pink and purple roots, and then did like a kind of skunk section on the very top with purple, which at first it looked really cute, but didn't really quite notice it as much as I thought it was going to. So yeah, definitely going to fix that up. Now we're doing the temples, kind of blend it right into my eye as well. Again, making it very sunken, which I don't think her face is actually that sunken. I think she has more around her face. But, you know, it's my makeup look, so it's inspired, but also based off of hers. So I'm going over the forehead. And, yeah, we're just contouring on the spots, going underneath the chin, making it more chiseled. And I do have a kind of butt chin, so I more so enhance the chin part, going up a little bit to where it goes to the other point of my cheeks. And now we're going to kind of smudge that same shade all over my chest. And I'm going to accentuate my collarbone and my kind of dip in my neck. And again, we're just blending it all in, kind of making it messy, because that's what, I mean, she just came back from the dead. She stapled her face. And yeah, we're just gonna make it all messy. Just grungy. Okay, so I think, yeah, this is the point where I went back into actual contour and bronzing shade and kind of blended it all in, because it was a little bit too extra green, not really blended out. Which in the photos can't really tell. So yeah, we're gonna blend everything out. Yeah, and okay. Going with a eyebrow brush, brushing my hairs back, and I'm actually using a black lipstick. It is the Super Stay lipstick from Maybelline, Matte Ink, in the shade Thrill Seeker. It is a black lipstick. I'm using that eyebrow brush and just filling in my eyebrows. Which, yeah, as you could tell, I already did one set, so we're just gonna more so focus on the eye that we can actually see what I'm doing with. Which I definitely say I have gotten better with, like, my eyebrows. And we're gonna blend that in. Kind of go back and forth. Create some little fake hairs at the end. Yeah. And next we're gonna get a cream contour, or like a little flat brush, and we're gonna use a lighter shade and eventually kind of carve out the eyebrows. Right now we're just placing a little bit of hairs, kind of just blend it all and make it look like an actual eyebrow. Yeah, okay, now at this point we're using a really light concealer and we're going to cover those brows. Gotta fix that little spot. I'm going to go back in and carve the eyebrow. Which this is always my favorite step when it comes to my eyebrows, or just doing any kind of eyebrows, is like making it look just beautiful and just seamless and just really clean. I definitely will say, looking back at my old pictures of Halloween makeup and just makeup in general, God, I had brow blindness. I'm so glad I got better with this over time. I think like 2016, 2017 is when I got better, but it's still a little bit blocky. Still, I mean, yeah, I had major brow blindness. Like, I am going through pictures of, like, our high school reunion here soon, from, like, being age 8 to age 18 to being almost 28 when it comes to my high school class reunion next year. But yeah, I used a kind of fluffy brush, which is probably the best brush I use when it comes to blending my concealer or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just use that same color, that same concealer, concealer, and just go over both my eyelids. Now, most people use setting powder. I don't, or use like an eye base, an actual base foundation, or whatever it is, application for this. I just use straight up concealer, or like light foundation, and just go over my eyes. I went ahead and, see, this is the point where I turned off my recorder, or like my camera, and just kind of like looked at pictures, and then, went ahead and drew the lines where I know the God, I'm getting so tongue-tied here. But I want this video to be super raw. Anyway, I went ahead and traced over the lines where I knew her kind of little accent eyeliner pieces were, where it's kind of like mascara running, I guess, or like eyeshadow running or whatever. But yeah, I went back into using that Thrill Seeker liquid lipstick, which I know I'm not really supposed to do, but it doesn't really irritate my eyes, so that's a good thing at least. And I'm using a big brush and a small brush to kind of place it where I need it to go, and then blending it out. These are basic blending brushes I got at Walmart. Can't really remember the brand, but like they're actually really good. I know they have like a light brown kind of wood color base, so they're actually really good. Okay, now we're going over black eyeshadow, which I am essentially using a Jeffree Star eyeshadow palette. It is the cremated palette. I think this color is hers. I don't really remember. But anyway, I'm pretty much using the whole entire eyeshadow palette for this whole entire look. And of course, like the Morphe Matte Essentials. Because obviously this is a very gray, dead type, lemon dead girl makeup look, I guess is what Dolores is. So yeah, I'm kind of going with some black eyeshadow and then a light gray eyeshadow and blending all this in. Kind of bringing it more up to the middle section of my eyebrow a little bit, just a little bit. Come back with some black eyeshadow, blending all that in. Then we're going to go with that light gray shade and just really blend it in. Again, not making it too perfect, but making it messy enough. And again, same process on this eye. Black eyeshadow over a good chunk over the eyelid. And then we're going to go back over using a light gray shade to kind of blend it, but not too perfect because, again, she just came back from the dead. She's looking fabulous while doing it. And she stapled her face. And not one scratch. Okay, there is a scratch on her face. But she looks fierce while doing it. So yeah, we're going back and forth, blending it. And again, blend it underneath my eye. It's weird. This never really messed with my eye, which I say that now. Okay, this is my new obsession. It is makeup a murderer. They started off with like liquid eyeliners, and I'm using the black shade to kind of go back over these lines. They are water activated, so I'm using a kind of stippling makeup brush to kind of wet it and damp it a bit and just smudge it out, make it look extra grungy and messy. That's what I'm doing right here. Again, not really in uniform, but just grungy and messy, like her makeup is, because mind you, she came back from the dead. I don't need to remind you about that. I think I reminded you like 3 or 4 times already, so there. And we're using the eyeshadow palette, which I used the very light shade, and I kind of realized, like, maybe I should have done the highlight first before I did those lines, but oh well. It's a very blinding white shimmery shade. Put it under my eyebrows. I put it on my nose. Really accentuate that button nose that I have that I mentioned earlier. On my bridge. And kind of just smudged it while flipping you off into the camera on my forehead. Oh, look, we have black lipstick on. Yeah, use Thrill Seeker again for the lipstick. Now I'm using a red lipstick, which is my absolute favorite from Maybelline. Again, it's Super Stay matte ink in the color Dancer. Now I'm a sucker for a red lipstick, so I'm kind of going back and forth with those shades. We're going to curl my lashes because my left side always gives me problems when it comes to the curling because I got sand in my eye and it pretty much made my left eye a little bit droopy. So yeah, so I'm trying to fix my eyelashes. My nose is just all sorts of just running right now, so I apologize. And mascara. This is the telescopic mascara from L'Oreal that was very controversial. Not really controversial, but just like, I am a hipster. I hate trendy things. I've always have. So once the hype is down is when I'll buy the product. And I was actually really impressed by this mascara because it actually goes into every single eyelash and makes it long and just beautiful and luscious. And then there's also like a comb for your mascara, which is really nice. And it actually does the job. So yeah, now at this point we're going back to that white eyeshadow and going into the corners. And also kind of just go above into my crease as well. to actually really enhance the color, you kind of just want to wet it too. And no, this sounds weird. It's not really sanitary. I usually use like a little bit of spit, a little bit of water, but you know, it works. So, you know, we're going to the crease, kind of blending that out. Technically, yeah, blending it out technically. So yeah, again, like I said, it won't be a Sparkleween without a lot of sparkles. So I'm also going to use a black shimmer that is in this palette, as you can see. And then there's also a kind of metal shade that I also kind of put like right in between, which you can't really notice. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of blending that sparkly black shade, and I also kind of use a smaller brush to go into those lines as well. But yeah, right there is when I'm using that same sparkle shade and putting into those lines because it's sparkly. And then I'm using a red shimmer kind of sparkly shade again, but this is the Blood Sugar palette from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, onto the lips, and then also using that same black sparkly shade into the black parts of my lipstick, kind of blend it out. Everything is gonna be sparkly. Everything. See, I think this is when I'm starting to apply that red or the black. Yeah, I'm kind of just blending back and forth with the black right now. And then going back with the sparkly red shade from the Blood Sugar palette. Making everything this super sparkly. Okay, at this point, I, again, referenced, stop recording, do the lines, and then now we're going to go back over the lines using that same liner from the Makeup by Murder. And I'm using this, it's a off-brand, I think it's Graftopian body painting or colors. It's off, this one's off of Amazon. It was like really cheap. I think like $35 what I paid for this one versus like I think $100-something for that one. So I'm using the silver shade and drawing on these staples. I will say, actually outlining all these staples was a whole hour process, and I'm sorry, but I was not going to record that crap. So you're just getting the staples, and then I used a super light shade of gray from the Cremated palette from Jeffree Star and kind of accentuate the sides, make it a little bit more 3D and poofy. But yeah, right now we're just getting, I will record this part, which is just me putting all the staples where they're gonna go, just very sporadic, not really in uniform. So yeah, I do have a lot of plans for this Halloween with looks. I'm trying my best to do as many as I can, because I'm also using this as a time to make a portfolio for makeup looks. So yeah, going all the, which, tongue-tied. I also used this whole entire line, kind of dragged it across my chest, across my shoulder. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I did record at least me putting the stitches where they're gonna go, which you can't really see my chest or my other part of my shoulder, so yeah. But trust me, they're there. Now, I don't know why I didn't put on false eyelashes. I mean, I guess I just wanted a glamorous look without just being super glamorous, because my niece just came back from the dead. And voila! Dolores from Beetlejuice 2. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.